I'm Bridie, and in this presentation I'll be taking you through the process on how I made my game Infall. In this presentation I'll be covering what I chose for the brief and how I understand it, the forum posts, and the creation of my game. I decided to choose level design for my project, as it will let me use visual effects, but in wanting to do visual effects it will cause me to think of different ways to make it playable rather than just completely relying on it. For this project, the brief required me to make a playable game with one of the given frameworks. I chose the shooter one rather than the roller. It has to be between 2 to 5 minutes long, and is focused on the area I want to work in, which is level design. For the level design part, it requires a meshed out and lit level. It needs vertical gameplay, and audio in the game. Another part of the assignment is making 3 forum posts that are in third person and discuss how I researched the game. In my forum post 1, I had to set out my aims, so I put in different ideas, how and what I want to do for the game, such as like the Niagara particle effects, and yeah. For my forum post 2, I had to write a literature review, and this is where I look at secondary research in what I want to include in my game. For it, I realised that if I want to do visual effects for my game, I will need to have a heavily based UI game, so that the player won't lose interest and that it is playable. I also learned a bit about level design, and that to have a better looking game there needs to be multiple prototypes and blocking out the level. For my forum post 3, I wrote down all the challenges that might be there and what skills I can include. This lets me become aware and know my faults. I then made a Gantt chart for my forum post 3 as well. I had already had most of it done by then, but I wrote down every little task and set down if it was complete or not, and then updated the Gantt chart. The only thing I didn't add, which is the purple bit, is the HUD menu, as I didn't think I needed it, as my game is going to be an exploration game. For the assets, I just found them off of Fab. I made sure to use free ones and also ones that I could see something with myself using. This is the level design. I went through the blocking out stage and realised I like the feel of it, but the scale was too large. It took the player 3 minutes to walk over, when in the new one it only takes a minute. It also lets me have a bit more freedom, so I don't have to add as much, and it won't be as much as a workload. The newer design I like a lot more as well. For my user interface, I drew a diagram of how I wanted it to look, though I wasn't sure how to do it, so I had to teach myself how to use UI, and that ended up with me getting this. But I felt like it took the character out the player out of the illusion of the game. So I then decided to change it again, and this gives it more of this is a game that doesn't just shove the text in your face. For my main menu and a game over menu, I decided that for the main menu, I wanted to add a Destiny-inspired background for it. So I recorded a cinematic and then re-imported it as an MP4 so that it could go onto a media player, and then it will become an image behind the widget. The start button opens the level, and opens the base level, and the quit button quits the game. For the game over menu, I didn't want to add a health system or anything because I didn't think that it would be necessary, but as I wanted lava in my game, I did need something that causes death. So I just added an overlap, and the player jumps into the lava and then hits the overlap, and then it just gives you the option to either restart the game or go to the main menu. For the visual effects, this is the main part I wanted to focus on, so I did incorporate them. The black hole is the center of the game. I made that making a material which relied on Fresnels. With the fire, I used the fountain base of Niagara system, and then I just got a sprite off the internet, which I like how the fire looks. With the rocks around the black hole, it is a mesh renderer. So the rocks flying around it are a part of the asset pack that I used. And then the lava, I just used a fire texture material and a random noise. A random noise. No, not noise. Normal. That I found off of the internet. For the cinematics, I felt that my game was too short, and another thing that caused me to make cinematics is that I didn't know how to make the player be pulled into a black hole, and I felt like it was too complex for this scale. So I just made a cinematic as a cutscene. And then I used a trigger volume and placed it in the base level. So when the player reaches the end of the sequence, they are sent immediately back to the main menu, as if to say, yeah, the game's ended. For the other bit, I didn't know how to open the level, as in what context to give. So to give context on how the player crashed, there is a beginning cinematic where it shows the spaceship the player's in, and they crash into this planet. This is my final game.